Yo, what's good, good people? What's good, good people? Welcome to the podcast, the Correctly Mistaken Podcast. Alongside, y'all know who he is, my brother, that man Punch.
Yeah, brother.
I'm your boy Osei. Well, I think everybody woke up this morning, but this is Sunday morning as we record this podcast on Sunday morning, which we usually do on Saturdays, but sometimes it ends up on Sundays, just depending on how the weekend goes. Yesterday, I was hiking yesterday, yo, out in Great Falls Mountain. God, dog, hiking. So because of that, we do it on Sunday morning, and I did not expect to wake up to the news. I'm sure you heard, Punch, that the how you say it about Lindsey Graham.
For
Doing
me,
he didn't love war. What did you just say? You just said it before we came on air.
that man never seen a war he didn't like.
Never see a war he didn't like, or maybe even love with Lindsey Graham, who has met his end at the age of 71 from a what his office is calling a sudden and brief illness. Now, that's already when you tell me, and I'm not, like I said, this ain't conspiracy theory, but it's just interesting when you hear the sudden brief illness. It's almost quite like poison, like grounds. I mean, I'm not saying it. I don't. It's just curious, you know, how that one is brief and sudden like it was, but they'll do investigation. And, people are saying, I heard some people saying because of the fact that he was getting ready to, I guess, do a permanent sanctions on Russia. And we do know the reported stories of who enjoys poisoning people, correct? That we've,
Wait, what?
oh, you didn't know that?
No, wait. Say that again, man.
Oh, okay. He died of a sudden and brief illness, right?
Yeah.
When you think of sudden brief illness sometimes, it's almost like the grounds of poisoning because it's sudden and it's brief. Usually
Mm,
you get intake of poison and you do sadly and unfortunately die, or God forbid, it's usually suddenly because you were fine,
mm,
pretty brief. Like if you like swallow cyanide,
mm.
like you can be perfectly fine right now, but if I decide to swallow the vial of cyanide, within moments it's going to be sudden and brief and I'm going to be dead.
Yeah.
So then you hear the reports, of that Lindsey Graham was working to ready to put permanent sanctions on Russia
Uh-huh.
permanently. Like working, and he was a big proponent of who Ukraine. He was always in Ukraine. He just
Yeah.
got Ukraine a couple of days ago. Which
Mm.
he was big for on Ukraine's side, and we do know the reports out there of what world leader enjoys poisoning or who acts.
Vladimir Putin.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying. Now, I want to say,
Okay.
but that's one of his ways of people he
Killing
poison.
people.
Yeah,
Yeah.
via via poison. Now I don't know. We're not. I'm not saying that. I have no idea.
I'm, I'm fine with peddling in conspiracies right now.
You know what I'm saying? Like I'm just repeating what I saw a couple posts say.
Mm.
But it's just interesting when you say sudden and brief illness. It's like sudden and brief. You were okay, then quickly you weren't, and then gone.
Mm.
That's kind of the grounds of poisoning.
Mm.
Just a little bit. I don't know.
And that's what they say they protect us from every day, right? Like that's what they say. But
Yeah.
that's the reason why we are so prevalent in all of the other world is because they're protecting us from threats that would otherwise touch us, right? So it's not it's not hard to believe.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be a conspiracy.
Doesn't.
After all the shit we've watched them do,
True.
you can kill a man if you overthrow a country.
All things are on the table. Like it's
Yeah.
almost when you talk about conspiracies, people always want to go that way and say, "Oh, conspiracy." But like you said, man, what we are witnessing lately It's like everything's on the table, bro.
Everything's on the table.
You may have some crazy off the wall, like, bamboo fibers, counting election shit. Sorry, Auntie. But collections and you know, certain the way the lamentation is on. Like you got some crazy stuff, but in terms of like, if you could kind of see some things lining up because you don't have the proof, but it makes sense. That could be
Yeah,
a possibility.
yeah.
All I'm saying that it's just interesting that Brief and Sutton, and then what he was doing, working with against Russia for permanent sanctions, or even more deeper sanctions, maybe
Hmm.
more than permanent. And then how he was a big champion for Ukraine. He just got back from Kiev. So, but as I do say also, in that same breath, Lindsey Graham was also somebody who gave up his political, I guess you had a good point, or for not say giving up, but for political expediency. He felt he needed to go from somebody that was vehemently against Trump, who had insulted his great mentor, John McCain, calling him, I like my war heroes not captured, and the disrespect that he showed to John McCain, and even though I would even say somebody who maybe disagreed with him on policy wise, he was a patriot. Great patriot John McCain was. What he did for this country, prisoner of war. I mean, you know the story. He disrespected him too. But then Lindsey Graham decided to give all the morals up. Somebody who trashed Trump. I wish I could play the clips. Don't have them. We saw that clip real this morning from Keith Boykin talking basically in his own words how he transformed because it would made sense politically for him to do so. And then now to the point where this last years of his life he decided to do that, become a sycophant, vacate all principles, like or Bunch said, did he have them in the first place?
It's
Issue
questionable.
questionable. If you're willing to, to do what you did, he did break with him a little bit on January the 6th, but quickly after that ran right back to his arms. I mean, this is the same man that gave Lindsey Graham's personal phone number out on social media, and he just laughed it off. His personal phone number. But nevertheless, like I always say, no matter the damage that you have done to the country, so people are going to look at you in a way of not selling, not being, like almost what's for lunch now. Lindsey Graham passed away, but what's for lunch, you
Yeah,
know?
I got chicken on the stove. Anybody want some?
But I will say that somebody did love him. People did love him. To those people, our condolences. I think his sister Deborah, who I believe uh raised him when I guess his parents. I don't know the story of his parents, but I guess they raised him or some type of capacity. But his sister ended up raising because something happened to his parents where his sister ended up raising him. So I'm no, and I think his sister is still with us. So on that situation, we do definitely give our condolences to her. But a lot of people don't really give in the political world who understand a lot of what we got going on, the bad things that are occurring are because of people like Lindsey Graham and other white senators, white men.
Nah, don't just blame the white man.
No, I'm getting ready. I wasn't done.
I was about to say, don't just blame the white man.
Wasn't done. Wasn't done. You know, Tim Scott. And, a lot of black Republicans that decide to go that way. But in terms of the ones that the majority who are white, the majority who are in power, who ultimately, if there's more than them, more of enough of them, they're gonna make the final decision anyway. That their goal was always forever wars, giving money to the military industrial complex, defense contractors, just feeding the beast every year asking for more money. Lindsey Graham, there's a clip of him. I'm asking parents to send their kids, constantly wanting to send their kids to war and want to ask them again over wars that are not even necessary. Huge proponent for Israel, somebody that supported them deeply and would not recognize the genocide that was going on. I mean, the decisions that they have made that have sunk this country economically, putting money all in one military industrial complex while supporting cuts to Medicaid, supporting cuts to food assistance, supporting cuts or tax cuts for billionaires. So people who are actually in this world like we are in, it's like Punch said, he got chicken on the stove.
Anybody wants some?
Now some people are like, oh my God, how dare you? The man passed, but yeah, he did.
I put that clip in the chat.
I saw it. I was trying to figure out how I can break it down, not to hear him doing all the talking, hearing his clips, but I couldn't.
Okay.
I can't control this tape. But what we can control though, is we're gonna break this down. Probably stop between this to kind of discuss some of these points. This is Donald Trump this morning on Meet the Press with Christian Welker, and basically, hold on one second here, making sure. Oh, okay. Meet the Press with Christian Welker. She did a phone interview with President Trump this morning. Shout out to Aaron Rupar. He does a supercut here, so you're going to see how it kind of blends in. But a supercut basically on Donald Trump this morning. I have heard maybe a couple snippets. I know Punch hasn't heard anything.
No.
We're going to listen to this together and probably stop on some points here of discussion because I'm sure this is going to be a doozy. A doozy. I didn't. When I ever thought I would say doozy, but here's President Trump this morning.
That we are all just absorbing this news. We are all in shock. Can you tell us, Mr. President, how you received this news and your immediate gut reaction when you heard it?
So what makes it even stranger is that I got a call last night sometime at, the early evening, maybe in the 7s. And he called and he said, we're all set for the Save America Act. He was pushing the Save America Act like crazy. He got back, said he just landed from Ukraine. I said, that's a long trip to make it. He said, he sounded a little tired, but perfect, but a little bit tired. Had a right to be. And he was a worker. He was really a worker. But he sounded great, actually. But he actually said he was tired. But he wanted to pass the Save America Act. And I said, well, we're going to get it done, Lindsey. We're going to get it done. I'll see you soon. We thought maybe we might even meet today. And then that was it. And that was, very around the time. It couldn't have been much longer. It could have been his last call. I don't know exactly. But I got a message about 1:00 in the morning from one of the people at his office that he had passed away. I said, I just can't believe it.
So, Lindsey Graham was so invested to the Save America Act, Punch. My goodness.
You gotta respect his message discipline, man. It's top tier, bro.
My goodness. And I'm listening to it. I'm like, I think that's the first thing you got off of that too.
Yeah.
I don't know if that was the last call he had of them. But I remember him telling me, we have to pass the Save America Act. He came back from Ukraine. He was tired. But his first thought, Mr. President, we have to pass the Save America Act. And we know the Save America Act is his actual literal voter suppression bill. That's legitimately what the Save American Act is. It is a federalization of elections that will make you now have to have a proof of citizenship, a passport, what else? Marriage license, some things you have to produce to vote. And on top of that, he wants to get rid of all the mail-in voting. It's the complete voter suppression bill where it doesn't have the votes in the House to pass. It even doesn't have enough votes to pass a filibuster to blow up the filibuster. They don't even have the votes to blow up the filibuster. And even then, because they would need the filibuster, or they would need to blow up the filibuster, and they don't have the votes to blow up the filibuster. And and at the same time, they don't have they don't have the votes to vote the filibuster. They don't have the votes to blow up the filibuster. They don't. Good night. Say that 5 times fast.
They don't have the votes to blow up the filibuster.
Yeah.
Yeah, not 5 times.
Jesus Lord. They don't have that, but at the same time, they don't have the votes for the Save America Act, period, because of the fact that they believe it's going to backfire on Republican voters. Like example, Montana, the state of Montana.
Of course it will.
But the state of Montana pretty much does all their voting by mail-in because it's such a rural area. People don't not a lot of cities. You have to drive miles to get to your voting, the actual vote. So they do mail-in voting. That's a whole state that's a Republican state. And Republicans are like, dude, you don't have the votes for that. You're not going to have the 2 Montana senators. Why do we have 2 senators in Montana? Who knows? But you're not going to have 2 senators from Montana saying, yeah, we're going to sign a bill, vote for a bill that's going to end mail-in voting. You don't have it. But Donald Trump, in his infinite, wisdom, Trump wisdom, anything that's an opportunity for me to have some kind of bump politically. I don't know who he spoke with. Maybe I was last. I don't know. But I know the last thing he said to me was, sir, please, we're ready to pass the Save America Act. We're ready to pass it. Come on, man. Are you kidding?
He was like a member of the family to me. It's very tough, actually. It's amazing.
Mr. President,
He was.
it is just extraordinary. You just spoke with him last night. His office says he
was a member of the family to him.
His office said what?
He was a member of the family.
No, what was she said? She was about to say his office said what?
No, I had to stop. I'll keep saying it. Here we go.
passed away from a brief and sudden illness. Are you learning any more details about how?
Did you hear that? What does his office say? A brief and sudden illness.
How and why he may have passed? Did he tell you anything in that phone call, Mr. President, about not feeling well?
No, he said he's a little tired. It was a long trip, many hours. And he had just gotten back. And it must have been right after that because I understand the police or whoever it is came there at about 7:30, 8 o'clock in the evening, something like that. So somebody notified him. But no, he felt okay. I actually on the call he told me, Kristen, he said, I feel good, but I'm tired.
Mm.
He was fine. I knew him well. He would let you know if he wasn't feeling well. He had days where he didn't feel so well, and he'd let you know about it. But he was a fantastic person. He was a man who you're going to watch. It's going to be a very big thing with him. He's going to be appreciated more now than he was when he was living. I think.
And just to make that point,
he had some fine moments. His moment on Brett Kavanaugh was one of the classics, I think, in the history of the Senate. His moment was literally one of the great classics of anyone in the Senate.
Well, if you don't understand that story, that's when Lindsey Graham had that viral. He would completely, just righteous indignation when Brett Kavanaugh had a credible accusation, just like Graham Planner. Another credible accusation that she was sexually assaulted by him. And Lindsey Graham was like, yo, forget all of that. And I wonder if we can find, I'm sure Lindsey Graham had to comment on Graham Plattner. See if we can find it. Some kind of way where he maybe talked about him after all this stuff came out. Maybe not. He was in Ukraine. I don't know how long he was in there for. but maybe not. There's some quote he has on Graham Plattner, but we all know in that situation he legitimately went ape shit in defense of Brett Kavanaugh, who had a credible accusation of sexual assault against him when he was in college.
He defended Brett Kavanaugh so brilliantly. And Brett might not have made it except for that. They were treating him very unfairly. Good man. They treated him so unfairly. And Lindsey was so angry at the Senate because of it. And he had really an emotional moment. And I think that saved Brett Kavanaugh's Supreme Court, ascension. Lindsey did something that he was just so angry at the way Brett was being treated by the Democrats. It was so unfair. It was so unfair. I stuck with him, but Lindsey got that over. Lindsey did a thing there that was, I think, nobody else could have done that.
Let me ask you a little bit.
Like him, he was so intent. I mean,
Our Christian just trying to get a word in, and she's trying to ask him this question. He's just rambling. Once again, just being who he is. Let me talk. I love the sound of my own voice. Because when you start talking, I'm probably going to be asleep. And I'm going to make up everything. I'm going to say my next answer because I did not hear your question at all.
He literally called me about the Save America Act. That's why he's, that's where I heard it. Think of it. He's traveling for many, many hours. That's a long flight. That's a long trip. And he, calls me about the Save America Act. He thought we were going to get it passed.
You remember
This
the
is
very
big.
yeah.
This is a big. This is a.
Oh my God! He will not let her get a word in. This is crazy, yo. Oh my gosh! All right. This is crazy.
A big blow to the Save America Act. Let me tell you.
Do you remember, Mr.
Back to the Save America Act.
Exactly. This is a big blow to the Save.
You gotta respect the message to somebody.
Big blow.
Gotta respect it.
You said to him, what was the last thing he said to you?
I said, "We'll see you soon. Come over anytime you want." He came into the White House a lot because I liked him. You can't do that with everybody.
President, it's nearly impossible to think about replacing Senator Lindsey Graham, and yet the governor of the great state of South Carolina is going to need to appoint someone on an interim basis. There will also be a special election called. Do you have, I know it's only hours, but is there someone you think he should appoint? Is there someone you think he will appoint?
I have somebody that I think would be great, but I don't want to say it now.
Okay.
Because it just, it's too soon with Lindsey. I don't want to even talk about anybody, but I do have somebody that I think is really good. The governor's a good friend of mine. I've endorsed him. I endorsed him early on, and he endorsed me right from the beginning as a person that never did this before. In 2016, he came out and very strongly endorsed me, and then I made up for it. I removed somebody from office that I didn't think was so good, moved her over to the United Nations. 95% of my doing that, because the United Nations job was not exactly tough. Yeah, it could be very important, but she was okay at it. But I did it because Henry McMaster was the lieutenant governor, and by moving her, I got myself a great, really a great guy. Henry McMaster has been a really good governor.
Shots at Nikki Haley. Straight shots at Nikki Haley. She was, ambassador because at the time, she was governor of South Carolina.
Yeah.
That I made her, I gave her the job, ambassador to the UN. Pretty easy job. But I wanted to get rid of her because R.W. McMaster, he endorsed me. He endorsed me in 2016. Real good governor. So I told myself, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to remove her. Somebody, he's going to say her, somebody particularly from office. I'm going to remove them. And then I'm going to get McMaster, who loves me, because me. Just the malignant narcissism that comes out of this man. This was the question that asks about how you're going to replace Lindsey Graham. and the story he's making about himself and why R.W. McMaster's and why what? What are you going to do? Are you going to try to get him to nominate himself? Because now he has to replace it. So are you going to tell? Basically, he's going to say R.W. I think his name is R.H. McMaster. You go ahead and you select yourself. You're the governor. You select yourself. I guarantee you that's what he wants him to do. I guarantee you that's what he
Is
wants.
he allowed to do that?
I have no idea.
But it doesn't matter because if he wants him to do it, he's still gonna say it.
Yeah, and they don't give a shit.
They don't give a shit.
They'll figure out a way for him to do it anyway. He's not supposed to probably, but they'll figure it out. It's amazing, crazy.
Really good guy, and that position cleared out, and but I have somebody that I like, but I'm not going to tell you who now because it's too soon.
All right, fair enough. We would.
I never thought I'd be in this position.
Yeah.
I said I thought Lindsay was going to be living forever. I never.
You try to end the interview.
I said,
See. What you say?
I said she trying to end the interview.
No, when she's trying to get a word in, and it's like it's what he always does. I mean, clearly you see the man, like obviously we're not doctors, but
he's obviously old. That's what old people do.
Decline that we're seeing here. The man just rambles on.
Lindsay, you're going to live forever, and he was going to have a big victory. He was scheduled to win by a lot. He had my support. And he was scheduled. He was going to win by a lot. He was going to have one of his best elections ever, and now he's got this terrible.
He was about to have one of the best elections ever. Now he has this terrible. Like he died, not like he has a situation. Like he passed, Donald. He passed. How about you say? Okay.
Well, I had the great honor of being able to talk to him a couple of times this week, Mr. President. And as you can imagine, we talked about a lot of foreign policy. We talked about a lot of Iran. And in honor of him, I want to still have some of those conversations. Those were the conversations he wanted to have here this morning, Mr. President. You obviously launched a fresh round of strikes overnight. Iran said overnight the Strait of Hormuz is closed. CENTCOM came out this morning and said the Strait of Hormuz is open. Which is it, Mr. President?
It's open, and I don't want to talk about it because I want to honor the life of Lindsey Graham, so I don't want to talk about it. I told you that before the call.
Yeah.
It's been, we bombed the hell.
I don't want to talk about it. I told you before the call, I want to honor Lindsey. Even there, I talked about myself, R.W. McMasters, how he endorsed me, how he was with me from the beginning. I don't want to talk about it now because this is about Lindsey. It's all about Lindsey. I don't want to discuss Iran. This was Lindsey. I told you how I love how the governor endorsed me. This is about Lindsey. And I told you this before we even got talking. Did I bring up Iran? They made a deal. They want a deal really bad. We had a deal. Where's he? Right? Where's he?
Hell out of him last night. They're very, very evil and sick people. We had meetings with them they agreed to a deal yesterday, a perfect deal for us. No nuclear, no this, no that, no nothing. They gave up everything. Mm-hmm. And then after that, they left the room. And then within an hour, they launched a drone at a ship. I said, you people are sick. You're sick people. And so it's one of those things. I don't want to talk about it.
Finally, before I let you go.
I want to talk about one person today, Lindsey Graham.
As we should. And I know that we are.
I don't want to talk about it. One person, Lindsey Graham, we had a deal. The deal was all set. They gave us everything that we wanted. And then they bomb us. They're scam. We all know that didn't happen. He threw that in there. He threw the fact in there that they had a deal that they agreed on with no nuclear, no nothing. But then an hour later, they decide to drone attack. No. It's what Iran always told him. Nobody's going through there unless we approve of it. They were trying to put people through there. Iran used drones and struck those ships. Because the memorandum of understanding said Iran, and then it didn't say nothing about Iran not having control of the strait. And then now you're closing this. Now they're cutting off the sanctions. I remember J.D. Vance said it was really cool that Iran was doing what they were doing and trying to turn a new leaf. So that is Donald Trump, the president of the United States, who legitimately had this gentleman, Lindsey Graham, bend the knee, become a complete sycophant, and then now using his death for some kind of way that he feels it can help him with the Save America Act. My God.
Gotta respect the message this time. But I also want to say, Nazis had kids too. Nazi has families too.
Yeah, and he didn't have any children because, and then it's so funny because the whole thing about Lindsey was
They
that
thought he was a closeted gay guy.
there's a lot of people have a lot of my brother who went to college in South Carolina and a lot of ties down there was, oh yeah, that was just the best kept secret. I mean, but the thing is also though Lindsey Graham was never married, never had children.
Oh, for real.
Yeah, he never was married, never had children either. He only
That
had-
don't make you gay, but okay.
well, no, it don't make him gay, but it was because nobody really cared that he was gay.
Yeah.
It was a situation everybody kind of knew it, but nobody really cared. Because at the end of the day, he kept it quiet. But then for him to attack, LGBTQ rights like he did, they went after him. Where if you talk to people in South Carolina, everybody could tell you, man, yeah, he gay. You got people that men that for escorts, testaments and stories you would hear from people that live in the area. That people just live in the area. They're not stupid. Like,
Yeah.
okay, you know.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's kind of like when you know people from your area, you're like, yeah, ain't a surprise. Like, yeah, you know.
No, but I say that because when I say Nazis have children, it's like we could talk about Lindsey Graham as the person, the politician, and then we could talk about him as the human, right? Like, yeah, he meant something to somebody. Somebody loved him.
Yeah, somebody love.
But Nazis' children love their parents too,
Absolutely.
right? There were Nazis that would walk thousands of people to the gas chambers and go home and kiss their kids and tuck their kids in.
And we respect that, but we don't have a when they die though, we can say what their story is,
Yeah,
it is, and it is what it is.
Lindsey.
That says fuck them, and they ain't gonna cry no tears. Yeah, you should
Yeah,
kind of throw them all in them, away, and trying to say, damn your family and screw you, or
yeah.
you know what I'm saying. You shouldn't do that.
Your family could be well and good.
Yeah.
You, as a person, were not.
Period.
Period. He was a major cog in the brutality that America uh issues all over the world.
And the reason why people like us and people in our audience and people who can actually pay attention to this stuff, because a lot of people don't pay attention to politics. They don't pay attention to the inner workings.
Yeah.
Somebody from the outside would just say, "Man, that guy died. You guys talking about him like that? What?" But it's like, no, this is the history of our time, and we're not even talking about him. We're just saying the facts, what he supported, and what his record was.
Yeah,
That's
what
it.
he did. It's not like we did it and now it's like he
But that's how
died,
they
so
want.
now he's a cool kid. Like,
Yeah,
no.
it's this record.
Yeah, like the man did it. Right? We kill a lot of people. Right?
Yeah,
He voted for us to actively starve Cuba.
he's
The man is a supporter of genocide and apartheid.
it is what it
I don't
is.
care how nice he was in the office. I don't care that you had some good conversations with him.
It is what
The
it is.
man's decisions were awful.
It is what it is.
And I don't think we have to compromise about that. You know?
I don't care what the rights, because this is a pearl clutching. Because Anna Kasparian from the Young Turks put, and all she posted, she didn't even say his name. She just said "good riddance," and then I was like, "Oh, how dare you! You're scum!"
But when it comes to the political realm, I kind of appreciate the
It don't matter,
truthfulness,
bro.
the truthfulness of how ugly it is.
Yes, because it is ugly.
I don't want us smiling and patting each other on the back while we're dropping bombs on kids.
Yeah, Like when Henry
right?
Kissinger died a couple months, a couple months back last year. I think he died last year, maybe a couple months back. Kissinger, he was a
Hmm.
war criminal.
Exactly.
I mean, like, and
I
the
don't know who he
automation.
is, but if he was a war criminal,
Oh,
exactly.
Henry Kissinger was back. He was the he dropped the bomb on World War
Oh, I
II.
thought you said a few months back.
Oh no, he
I
died like
thought it was a different one.
no. Kissinger that died a couple last year. I think it was last year. I always say it the other day. The
You
other
thought
day,
the atomic bomb? I thought it was Truman.
but he was his Secretary of
State.
State.
Okay, okay, okay.
He was his Secretary of State at the time, and
Was it he was the one with the idea that we had to drop a bomb so no one else would drop a bomb?
yeah, and that's exactly.
Okay. I thought you said a couple months back. Okay, I know who he is now.
Yeah, Henry Kissinger. He was the 56th Secretary of State, and I'm just trying to make sure the administration. I got the administration right. I think it was during
Wait,
the
he died only a couple months ago?
he died in January. When did he pass away?
Damn, that shit
Oh
was
no, he died in 2023. Man, see, it's been going by so fast, bro. You would think,
that dude was alive for a long ass time.
yeah, man, that's 2 years ago when he passed. I'm trying to
That
see.
was almost 80 years after he did it.
Yeah, and he was in the Nixon era. Yeah, the Richard Nixon era when he dropped the bomb on in World War what's it two? Not World War II.
Nixon,
Vietnam,
Vietnam. Oh,
Vietnam,
okay, 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 okay.
Vietnam, and he was a war criminal. I mean, it is what it is, and but media were trying to portray it another way because our mainstream media believes in the American exceptionalism, and usually when we do something, it's just justified all the time.
Hmm.
It is,
Even our mistakes are better than other people's
yeah, exactly.
correct actions.
Like
Yeah.
we dropped, like in the beginning of this war of a couple of months ago, our first action we dropped a bomb on a school, and some people in this country because they don't pay attention, they'll just tell you, well, there must have been a reason why. No, there wasn't.
Or we're at war. It's just a casualty of it.
Yeah, just the fog of war, as with Israel, with Palestine. No, there's a reason. No, there's no reason. They're just dropping bombs on children.
Hmm.
They've murdered 23,000 children. Over 80,000 Palestinians. Well, there's a reason.
Displaced millions of Lebanese.
Yeah, now Israel is in Lebanon. Lebanon is not in Israel. But there's a reason the United States does what we do, and no, it just is what it is. And Lindsey Graham, this is his record.
Yeah. These aren't even just his record; it's his deeds. You know how, like, this is what he's. This is a thing, right? It's not like he thinks these thoughts are good thoughts, or like like this is just his opinion. Like me and you have opinions,
Yeah,
right? We don't actually have the power to
he was in power.
for it to become a reality.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? If we did, we'd be like, oh, Metal Care for All, it's
yeah.
done. Right?
But we're just
Paid Family
we're
Leave,
just
it's
talking
done.
heads. Yeah,
We're
we're
just
just talking
talking,
heads. Yeah,
right? So it's like, oh, this is what's happening. But when he does something, it has real world consequences.
yes. But he had power. He was a sitting United States senator.
Yeah. That's
That's
a lot of actual power. Like,
yeah.
people underestimate how much power these representatives actually have.
They've sometimes their vote changes laws for a whole country,
For a whole generation.
a whole generation. It's a very congressmen, senators. They wield power, and that's why when you judge them based. That's why it's what the right always does. The right will always try to find somebody fringe on the left that says something and go after that. Like then that represents everything. But they never find the people who are actually in power saying those things. What we do on the other side, we constantly have people in power who are doing things and saying things, saying they are saying it, and they're like, nah. There's a reason why they're saying it. That there's a reason why that they're saying what they're saying. It's not because of the fact that they're just wrong or they're lying. It's not. No, there's another angle to it, and usually it's not. It's just you're playing teams, and you don't. and all you understand is right wing Fox News propaganda, and you're propagandized to. I mean, really, it's not even your fault as a Republican voter. You're propagandized every damn day. I mean, imagine it. I mean, when you watch Fox News like I do, and you watch these right wing networks, the propaganda is amazing, and sometimes it's really good. And if you,
Nah, it's never good, man.
well, you know what I mean. If
It's
you're,
never good.
I mean, in
It's
terms of,
amazing how much they do, but it's
yeah,
never
well, I'm
actually
talking
good.
about in terms.
It
Yeah, you're
doesn't
right.
ever make sense.
It's not good, but it's like the way they come across. It's just like it's articulate. That's what I meant by saying it
Yeah.
can be articulate. The propaganda can be articulate, and if you don't think and understand and know what the facts are, you be like, man, you get caught up in it. Like like now, you got people who will sit there and fight with you and believe Sharia law is overtaking the country. Like they're
Yeah.
going crazy over it
hmm
because
Like
of
they have to write laws to protect themselves from
oh,
the Muslims taking over in Oklahoma.
it's crazy. And what makes it so crazy is that they literally try to write laws against it. Like you just said, they write laws and they get themselves to focus on that culture war issue and not the fact that they're supporting the millionaires and the billionaires and the corporations that are just robbing you blind, and they got you focusing on Sharia law when only one like it's like 1 million, it's like 1% of in this country is Muslims, like 1%, some crazy number like that. Like it's not even. I can't. I think I saw it the other day, but I think it was like 1% of the population, identifies as Muslim out of 340 million people. So at the end of the day, they're propagandized to. But the fact of the matter is, these people are in power.
1.3%.
Okay, 1.3%.
Roughly translate to 3.5 to 4.5 million.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
And they got them legitimately believing that Sharia law is going to overtake the country.
It's about to sweep the nation.
It's crazy. If you go on Fox News and watch Jesse Waters and you watch him, the way they talk about it, it's like, yo, they feed into the hysteria.
We're on the verge of jihad.
Bro. And Fox News being the most watched news network in the country, the number one.
That's because of white people, though. That's why.
Yeah, that means
That's
that's even more detrimental.
Yeah, that's because of white people.
Because they're being all propagandized too.
Well, they don't need help believing it. It's just who they are. The people that watch it.
Well,
Like if you go to Fox News,
they confirm their biases all day long.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's like they don't need convincing.
They confirm their biases.
Yeah, that's what they're going to do. They know it's not news.
Because it's just amazing to me how they can, get away with the fact when they say because unfortunately, undocumented murdered a young lady in the park. How they get away with the fact that means that everybody needs to be deported. It's just crazy. It's just like people need to think better than that. People are just not that dumb. But then you say, yeah,
they are.
They are. I mean, we not running for nothing. We can say the voters are dumb, stupid. We ain't running for shit. Sorry, Auntie. Well, we ain't running. So voters are dumb. And we have a lot of dumb voters that have put us in this position. I mean, we're not even talking.
Well, I'm not going to blame the voters for putting us in this position, but we got a lot of dumb voters.
Well, no, enough dumb voters put us in position. How about that?
Not all. Because our politicians aren't doing any better.
The ones that are
it's their fault. You got to go get that win.
Yeah, so enough dumb voters were propagandized to just enough to put us in a position that we're in now. Where now you got Lindsey Graham and you got McConnell. Well, Lindsey Graham actually did pass away. That's confirmed. But McConnell, who's probably brain dead in a hospital, just staying alive by ventilators. And they're trying to keep him on ice. Wife then fled the country.
Where's she at?
She left. Her name. I always do that.
Why would she flee the country?
Because she left because she used to be the transportation secretary, Elaine
Oh
Chao.
yeah. Okay, I
But she
remember
did, well, I shouldn't say fled, but like she fled.
that.
She's not on the run, but she did leave the country. And I can say because, she don't want to answer no questions.
Mm.
So you can flee for you don't have to flee because somebody chasing you. You can flee to get away from something.
Yeah, true. I thought she might have had like a Rico on her or something.
Nah, because of the fact of the matter is, she don't want to answer no questions because she used to be,
Okay, makes sense. Makes sense.
and her daughter, the daughter, then completely left off social media.
Mm-hmm.
You have certain senators that said they spoke with him for 20 minutes. All for 20 minutes. They all had a 20-minute discussion.
Yeah, Scott Jennings had a 15-minute conversation and he seemed alert and well.
So okay, that's the case. Call in somewhere, Mitch. But they don't want to
Yeah.
do that because they're afraid that, Andy Beshear, who is the Democratic governor, the reelected Democrat governor of
Gets
Kentucky.
to vote someone in.
Yes. And even though
I mean,
Kentucky,
Democrats not gonna do anything with it anyway. So
well, I would think they would do one or two things. Either what he will probably do, well, it would be weird for a Democrat to put in a Republican. But Kentucky did write in. They made a law to try to stop that from happening, but it's in Kentucky's constitution that the governor has it. So there's a law that they have a supermajority in Kentucky. So there's a law that states that the governor just can't, if he's Democratic governor, he can't just do that. But the Constitution states any type of governor, any governor in Kentucky that is to happen, they have the power to appoint a new senator. So either that would be a Democrat they didn't want, or that would allow for somebody like Thomas Massey to run for the seat, or maybe
mm,
even nominating Thomas Massey in the seat, which I would thought that would be weird for him to nominate. But I think a lot of Democrats, especially wouldn't, if Thomas Massey was the guy that you're gonna put in there, all right, you probably even get Democrats to support that. And I say, because Thomas Massey ain't no sycophant. Because where we are right now, he's not a cultist. We can disagree with a bunch of stuff. He's a
but
libertarian.
wait, isn't Thomas Massey in Congress right now?
Yeah, he's a congressman, but he could be nominated.
Yeah, but if you nominate him, he's
Elected,
gonna leave Congress and go to be the Senate.
why not? Because remember, he lost his primary.
Right, that's what I'm saying. So he
Yeah, so why not? He'll take this seat for at least a few months, and he'll be
okay.
the incumbent, and now he'll
Mm,
be the incumbent. And Kentucky, statewide, they like Thomas Massey.
yeah.
And Thomas Massey isn't a Trump sycophant, he ain't in the cult. He's more the libertarian Rand Paul, bread type. You know what I'm saying? Disagree with a lot of stuff with Thomas Massey.
Mm-hmm.
But he ain't a cultist.
Yeah.
And that's right now, at least you have somebody there that's not no cult sycophant. You know what I'm saying? The man is trying to get the Epstein files. He's trying to get all the Epstein files released. Him and Ro Khanna came with the legislation and got all of Congress to get in on it to release the Epstein file. So I think a lot of people will be like, all right, cool, but they don't want to do that in Kentucky. So, but to get back to what you said, because it was really important, bro, about power, man. These people don't want to. I think people don't understand the power that they wield, and really, what we're judging you was based on the time. If you are in power and the decision that you make, your record, that's what you're judged on.
Yeah, when they say that you know, read the eulogy and they go, he woke up every day and he went to work and he worked hard. When they say that about me and you, we go up, we get up, we pay our bills, you know what I'm saying? We do it so that we can have things, so that we can help people we love, right?
Yeah,
He had the same responsibility, but when he came home at night, thousands of people are dying.
affected by it. Me, it just affects
Right?
my little family.
Millions,
Yeah,
millions of people are affected by it.
backdoor deal you made.
Genocidal regimes and apartheid regimes are upheld because
Fund,
of what he's doing every day at work.
fund of the military complex,
Right.
supporting cuts for Medicaid and SNAP.
Yeah. Them uh tearing down USAID,
Yep.
being able to Doge being able to do whatever it wants. These are
Yep.
things that get done while he's at work.
Nominating, voting for Pete Hegseth to be our Secretary of War.
Yeah,
Voting
lying about the
for
Supreme Court nomination that you won't vote in a voting year. You won't push Supreme Court justices in because the next president should be able to do it, right?
Yeah.
Then when it comes to the vote, it's just like, hey man, shit happens, bro. You just say what you got to say and it's like that. This is what happens when bro goes. So when they overturn Roe versus Wade, when they gut the Voting Rights Act, right?
Those senators fault.
When the president can't be held accountable because of whatever he's doing in the office as president, he can't be brought to court for it. That's your senator's fault,
Senators fault.
right?
Yeah.
South Carolina's a beautiful state, right? And if you have, I'm sure that it's like any other state. If you have money, you could live pretty decent if you're middle class or whatever. There's also
Not at home. It's not a poverty.
a lot of poverty,
Not a poverty.
a lot of poverty, and not just for black people,
Homelessness, a lot of
just for
home
people,
poverty.
right? It's a beautiful state.
Yeah.
Right, Charleston. I'm sure I haven't been to Charleston. My dad lives in Myrtle Beach, so like I get to go there often.
Yeah.
But it's a beautiful state. But I'm sure.
Your dad lives in Myrtle Beach.
Yeah, my dad lives in Myrtle Beach.
So, yeah, my father-in-law lives in Augusta, South Carolina.
Yeah, a lot of poverty though.
Yeah, a lot of poverty.
You know why? Because of the things your senator did to keep your state clean.
Absolutely. Every law, every day supported, every cut, austerity policies that took away, didn't add. He did. That's his record.
That's his record. And look, beautiful golf courses everywhere.
He played a lot,
If you have the luxury to retire, it's a beautiful state.
and he played a lot of golf. A lot of golf for Donald Trump.
You see what I'm saying? If you have the luxury, so like, but I feel like there's a meter on how we should judge people, right? Like, you can be like mostly good. You can probably be like even bad or good, or you're just like mostly bad, right? But if your meter at the end of your life is mostly bad because of the things you've done, and you were like good to like the people you knew, your family and friends or whatever, but if it's still that meter's over mostly to the mostly bad side, then we gotta judge you based off that.
That's it.
Right? I don't have to say, you know what I'm saying, nice things, and I don't wish death on many people. Right? But to be truthful is also not to be ugly about it. Right? He was a horrible person.
His policies that he supported
Were horrible.
horrible and real life damage to
Consequences for what he did.
thousands of people,
Maybe millions.
millions.
Right? We killed 1 million people in Iraq. He was in office
Yeah, he was a big. Well, he's been in office. He's been in
since 2002.
1995.
Well, yeah, he became a senator in 2002.
1995,
Yeah.
and a senator in 2002. So he's been in power for over 30 years, and his votes in the state level,
On committees.
on committees, the federal level had big impact. And usually,
Yeah.
policies tend to have deep impact to working families, to middle class families, because they always benefit the wealthy.
Mm-hmm.
Before we go, man, I need to get this in.
Are we done already?
No,
Uh,
no,
Oh, okay. I thought you said before we go.
no, we're done with Lindsey.
Okay.
We're gonna get it somewhere else. You know, y'all see your president. You see how he feels about it. He don't care.
Yeah, I get that Save America Act then.
Got to get that Save America Act passed. You know, that's it. That's what he wanted to do. That's his dying wish. I could believe if God forbid, one of his other kids would have passed, you know, Barron, Eric, Ivanka, Tiffany down or whatever. He'll say, you know, they tell me, Dad said that, you know, sir, Dad, Dad, sir. Please, pass the Save America Act. Pass it. I mean, just the whatever, yo. That dude is something.
Unmatched discipline is what I call it. That man is correctly obsessed about his agenda.
His personal narcissism.
Hey, as bad as it is, as a politician, that's what you want.
Of the United States, he is the leader of the free world.
Of the free world.
And his only focus is on his survival him, and more him. And it was funny. The Woodbridge GOP, which I don't appreciate. I posted. I think they erased me and they kicked me off their group. The Woodbridge GOP, they did a real.
Why are you in the Woodbridge
Well, I wasn't in the
GOP?
group. I shouldn't say I wasn't in the group, but I
Ah,
saw they came up my timeline and I commented on it.
okay.
Hey man, the guy told me to pound sand from the actual page, Woodbridge GOP. He replied, "Pound sand, loser." And
What
because
does that mean?
they showed some clip um, from 30 years ago that Donald Trump paid $200,000 of his own money and got some other donors to help him to be able to put on a Veterans Day parade. And because of that, that shows the great president he is today. I'm like, what? And my question was, it's from 30 years ago. And the guy calls me a loser. I'm like, look, I just quoted what you said on the video. I said, if that's the case, why he ain't doing nothing now? Because he said this is before all the politics, before all the campaigns. Yeah. So it doesn't matter what he did 30 years ago for Veterans Day parade. Why he ain't doing none of this now with his own money? He made $1 billion last year. And I went back to the page. I think my comment was taken off. Bunch of stuff. So, so whatever, yo. And that was talking about Donald Trump, just how he's only cares about himself and how he has his sycophants believing anything that he did for 30 years ago shows the greatness he is today. When now, when he speaks, it's just him self-grandizing, grandizing.
Self-aggrandizing.
Yeah, that's it. See, Punch is always gonna correct me because I can't talk.
I just helped you out. That correct you.
Oh, yeah, I take that.
That's all you out.
But before we go, yo, this is I wanted to play this because this is interesting to talk about to get back to our side. And I guess when we say our side, the side that we feel is the best opposition to deal with for them being in power, which is the Democrat Party. And here is it's interesting because Graham Plattner, this past week had a dropout, the credible credible to most, because somebody on this own show does not cause bullshit.
Wait. I'm not calling. I just want to
No,
clear. I'm not calling the
there's no
allegation
investigation.
bullshit.
There's
I'm
no
just
investigation.
saying that it feels fishy. And I looked it up today. The statutory the what is it called? I don't know. It's like
Statutes of limitations.
statutes of limitations. Thank you. In Maine are 20 years for any sexual misconduct assault charge. It's only been 5.
Yeah.
She was brave enough to tell her friends. She was brave enough to warn women or a woman individually. She was brave enough to talk to the therapist. She was brave enough to talk to the news. And still, she has not talked to the cops. And I'm saying one of the things she said is when you come out with these allegations, you just become the allegation. You're a survivor of rape. That's all you are. And it's understandable. But we're here now. And this man is an alleged rapist, and the public has judged him rapist. Why is he not being investigated?
And
That's
based,
all I'm saying. It
well, no,
feels
based,
fishy.
and based on
It
that,
feels
why?
fishy.
Because you did say, because the posted on Correcting Mistaken podcast, y'all go check out the clip. When he basically said, he did say if there's no investigation on anything afterwards,
I'm
if
calling
it's
God.
a rape allegation, I'm calling bullshit then.
I'm calling bullshit.
Because if you're gonna come out to CNN and sit down with Jake Tapper and tell your story about,
Do 3 interviews with Political, because
I mean,
that's what makes this credible. 3
one of
separate interviews with Political.
yeah, or is he just loose, or is he what did she say? Consensually loose,
Careless.
careless.
Consensually careless.
I mean, so that's like basically saying rape.
Well, she said he raped him. That's no longer like that. That's what he was to her friend. That's what she said to her friend. She said it. He raped me.
But now, because of the fact this happened, and the Democrat establishment, who didn't want Graham Plattner in the first place, because what his campaign stood for, even with the New York Times editorial board trying to, act as if, which was a interesting read. Go ahead, check it out. Saying how Democrats, it was more like they got caught up in the trance of Grand Platinum and the aesthetic of him more than his message per se, which was a load of crap. People in Maine knew what they voted for. It wasn't because he was an oyster farmer. It wasn't because he looked like a chud. It's because what he spoke of and what he communicated, which he was really good at communicating, where he stood. But now, obviously, he had to go, and this was just too much. Had to go. But it's interesting what the Democratic establishment is saying. So this is a short clip of Megan Hayes, used to be in Joe Biden's administration. I can't remember what she was per se. I'll see in a second here. But this is her commenting on the situation with Grand Platinum and trying to disgustingly conflate this to have something to do with Michigan Senate Senate candidate for the nomination, Democratic nomination of Abdul El-Sayed.
The Republicans were going to drop something after this the July 13th date, so you couldn't replace them. But the fact of the matter is these are the same consultants that are bringing you Abdul El-Sayed in Michigan. They're the same people who are bringing you other candidates that are not vetted because they think that if you are online and you are popular online, that you are going to win people. And it is disgusting and gross. This person was bad from the beginning. I have said it for months. He has no business being in the Senate. He has no business being on a campaign. And the fact that the Democratic Party stood with him after the first allegations and the men of the Democratic Party stood with him is disgusting. And the women are the only ones that stood up
something here. Abdul Sayed is not facing any kind of allegation of sexual abuse. And
he's unvetted, untested.
He is also a former.
Was she about to say something?
It was Emma that was getting ready to say something. It was
Emma Vigler
was getting ready to end. She was the White House director of message planning, Megan Hayes. And so interesting there how she was trying to conflate that.
It's disgusting. And the women
here it is again.
are the only ones that stood up
something here. Abdul Sayed is not facing any kind of allegation of sexual abuse. And
he's unvetted, untested.
He is also
unbelievable. Unvetted, untested candidate where, first of all, that's a lie. Because Abdul Sayed, he ran for governor back in 2018 in Michigan. He ran and lost, yes.
Nice.
And he also was the medical director for the Detroit area. He's a public official. To say he's unvetted is bullshit. It just is. But see what they're going to do, and what the goal is now is because of the fact that Grand Platinum, did what he did or put himself in a position to be having deep criticism going his way now. And because of the fact that he wasn't vetted properly, you could say the consultants kind of pushed him in, whatever. That could be a valid point. But he wasn't to any means. It still came out, wasn't vetted properly, whatever you want to say, but try to enroll that or conflate that with Abdul Sayed. To say he isn't vetted as well. That he isn't somebody that's prepared as well. And try to act as if because the messaging, because y'all have to understand. It's not if Eric Swalwell did this. We talked about him last week. He was running for governor, Congressman Eric Swalwell. It went away. It wasn't no indictment on this progressives.
Yeah, and we still don't know if he's actually guilty of it.
Exactly, but it just went away. You know why? Because he was establishment.
No.
It didn't put a pattern of what the Democratic voters are falling for.
And he'd been a representative for a little while now, too.
Exactly.
He got a reputation. Don't leave your interns around Eric.
Exactly. And they never said anything.
No. It was like after it came out, it was done.
Bruh. It was through with. Nothing to be said, nothing to be spoken about. But because of the fact Grand Platinum, obviously, him not being unvetted, Abdul Sayed not being unvetted, these consultants, and when they talking about consultants, because See, the regular consultants are upset and they're angry because their bottom lines are being hurt. They make money off digital ads, corporate sponsorships. These campaigns are being ran people driven, so they don't like that already.
Yeah.
That already pisses them off already. But on top of that, the messaging that they're talking about, knocking off establishment figures, actually getting back to people politics. And now what Graham Plattner has done, or what's happened with him, is a representation of the left across the board. And I'm looking here at Said to make sure of Said. He was the health director of Detroit.
Oh.
So he became the health director of Detroit, and he ran in 2018 as governor of Michigan. So to sit back here and say that he's not vetted, unvetted, and trying to now Graham Plattner, you can say he was you can say the vetting of him was not thorough, whatever you can say about that. But to try to conflate it with Abdul Said, and they're trying to bring it with the whole left, and it's not the right doing it. This is what's crazy. It's the Democrat Party.
Open hostility to the party, man.
Open hostility, man. They're running on the Fox News, running their mouth complaining about this, whining about the DSA, talking about how they're trying to make sure to think about it, to Republican voters, to white swing voters, the mythical white swing voter.
The mythical suburban mom.
The mythical one, the one that just happens to be somewhere magical. Magical. No, to let them know, guys, you guys please understand, please. They're not Democrats. They're not Democrats, they're socialists. Socialists. They're socialists.
The communists. We're not even socialists anymore.
Please, Fox News.
We're communists.
Please believe me, you mythical white swing voter, who you guys have been so propagandized to hate Democrats, to think we're the very evil. We're still trying to plead with you and to show you that we're still not socialists, we're Democrats. They do not care. Because as much as they demonize Democrats, they demonize socialists and communists even worse. But you see what's going on.
Yeah.
You see what the angle is when Narrowstanding and all these Democratic establishment figures, they don't have anything else to go on. They can't fight on the policies because they're too popular. So they have to go at character or people being tricked or duped, or no, it's just, that's why they were so, the progressives winning in other areas and DSA winning is such a threat, because they wanted to just say, oh, that's just New York. But they can't. Now it's Colorado. Now maybe Wisconsin. Down in Florida with Moskowitz.
If you're in a Democratic seat, it should be as far left as the Democratic Party wants it. And guess what? Far left, there's 80-20 issues, man.
All of them.
It's not the radical move.
It's not.
It's not the radical move.
But they want to keep telling y'all it's radical. Our side is radical.
I will say though that
it's want healthcare, but we're radical.
As a movement, if you're growing a movement, I think it's important for you to be better than the opposition you're claiming to be against, right? Like, yeah, we can get down in the mud with people, because that whole when they go low, we go high, right? But it still has to be of principle. And that's what they failed to do with Graham Platt. The Nazi tattoo should have been the thing, right? We shouldn't have to have rape allegations, right? And look, as a person that thinks this is that this could be a hit job from the Republicans, I'm not from the Republicans, but from the establishment Democrats, right? it's important for them to make sure that their candidates are as flawless as possible, right? Because you're not dealing with the same constituents that Donald Trump is dealing with. Yeah, we're fine with conceding certain things, right? But the Nazi tattoo on a white guy
Yeah,
is a bridge too far
and
because we know what that means.
that's where on the left, well, you do have the discussion that could be had about the terms of their racial situations as well, because he was still pushed,
Yeah,
Graham Plattner, even after that, and somebody that was a person of color, a woman, black or a black person, that we'd have been done through.
yeah,
If that was a woman, a black
yeah.
man, or a person of color, we wouldn't got that leeway. It got to the third time.
It was a full-on rape allegation.
A full-on rape allegation had to do it. And you still had people on the left still calling it he shouldn't do it.
Well, Graham Plattner's one of his issues is that at least Eric Swalwell, he just left.
Yeah.
Right? Like he tried to defiant like position for like 16 hours, and then he was like, you know what? I'm gonna suspend my campaign.
Yeah, because still every prominent progressive or Democrat known did call for him to lose.
Yeah,
did call for him
and
to drop out.
the Graham Plattner, despite that there's a possibility of this being a hit job, he won't put his phone down. Right? Like there's a certain amount of I'd say privilege that it looks like the DSA candidate has, and that does reflect bad on the DSA candidates. That y'all would literally just do anything for power,
Yeah.
right? And it's like, put your phone down, shut up. You got a rape allegation. That's something you got to go deal with. But that's how it should have been for the Nazi tattoo,
And
right?
they,
And that does now they can say, well, y'all just like MAGA, because we said we didn't care. The voters in Maine said, yeah, that don't matter to us.
But see, the thing, I don't want to hear nothing from the Republican Party. I've had people try to come at me.
No,
right?
I don't either. Yeah,
I don't hear nothing that you got to talk about.
no.
This is an internal thing between the left, liberals, progressives, leftists.
Donald Trump has a baker's dozen of rape allegations.
He has a Wikipedia page dedicated to the allegations of sexual.
Like, dog,
bruh, like,
dog, like it's not the same.
we just don't want to hear it. I do not care.
I'm not listening to it.
And when they run, I'm like, shut up.
Ken Paxton is running for
Yo,
right now. Right now.
Max Miller beat his wife.
Like
Miller.
Yeah, like we're not listening to it.
I don't want to hear it.
Yeah.
Nobody's calling for him. Once again, the Democrat Party showing that they're morally superior, regardless of what we feel about it, have all came out feel about the Democrat Party not being morally superior.
Even if it was late, they still came out and said it.
And they came out and said he needs to go. He needs to drop out. And then on top of that, they put their money where their mouth is, where we really left him no choice. They pulled all the infrastructure, all the money. They pulled it all away. So therefore, he didn't have a chance. He didn't have a pathway to win anymore. So he had to go. But for you to sit there and people like Kevin McCarthy, people to sit back and say, well, what our side see something like this coming, we get rid of them. Just the lies. But they don't care. They're shamelessness. They're shameless, bro.
And which is why I don't even like talking about the Republican Party, bro. It doesn't make sense. Like they're an opposition party to us, but they're objectively bad. There's no like in betweens with them.
They're awful.
They're awful. Like they're like you get on here and lie every day. There's a convicted felon that's leader of your party. That's leader of the free world.
Who's on the Epstein files as more times as Harry Potter is mentioned in Harry Potter book series.
He's in the Epstein files more times than Jesus is in the Bible. And the Christians love their Jesus.
And they love their Jesus. And you gonna sit back here and trying to tell us Speak to us.
They're
No,
like, I'm not. Yeah, I'm not listening. I'm not
we're not
listening.
listening to
Y'all
that.
not even like. It's not. It's just stupid, man. Like it's almost pointless to talk to Republicans because they don't peddle in facts at all. Like it doesn't matter. The truth doesn't matter.
I
Only
mean,
what they're saying matters.
and then you think about it. Then you think about the Democrat establishment. We're not hearing nothing you got to say neither. Y'all supported Bill Clinton.
Well, I don't know. Did he have allegations against him,
Bill
or is
Clinton.
he just sleeping with the
This
intern?
act that he did. This is character acts. This stuff that he did, misconduct, sexual
Okay.
misconduct. They stood with
I
him.
was more than Monica. You know what I'm saying? I was when Clinton was around. I was like
They stood with him.
6 years old.
I was 15.
Yes, I was a young bull. Like I wouldn't know.
But I did what yeah, you wouldn't know, but they still with him. His mission, in the White House getting fellatio in the White House, and
That's
even
not a
when he
crime,
was in
man. Man,
Arkansas.
just like a good
Oh,
time.
but all I'm saying is they just act like the character of the man. That's all I'm saying.
Oh
They
yeah,
just,
yeah, yeah.
you know what I'm saying? That's what they're trying to say. Now Grant Plattner, and you have even when he had accusations of him, I think when he was in the governor of Arkansas. Even before that, I believe
Clinton.
some stuff to go back to remember. And I'm gonna make sure just to double check here. But yeah, for to hear the establishment come
I
out of
mean, he was in the Epstein files too.
yeah, he was. Yeah, he
You
was.
know.
Yeah, he was.
So
So a lot of that stuff. Matter of fact, here it is right here. I was over here filibustering. Let me see. He faced multiple allegations of sexual assault, harassment, and misconduct throughout his political career. Most notably during the 90s. Juanita Broderick, former Arkansas nursing home administrator, who alleged that Clinton raped her in a Little Rock hotel room in 1978. Paula Jones, a former Arkansas state employee who filed a lawsuit in 1994, saying Clinton propositioned her and exposed himself to her in a hotel room in 1991.
oh yeah, then they had Bill Clinton, bro. That's too many.
Yeah, Kathleen Wiley, a former White House volunteer, who alleged that Clinton forcibly kissed and fondled her in a private room near the Oval Office in 1993.
I believe it.
I mean, so right there, and that they all supported Bill Clinton.
They still do.
Still do.
He's still welcome to the party. Some people say he's still our first black president.
So it's like, but no, Grant Plattner. This is the left and what they're picking, these progressives and these socialists. They're not even vetting their candidates. They're not even vetting them. Trying to conflate that because no, they kind of destroy the message. Y'all need to understand the message is the threat. Because God forbid these people keep getting elected, these Democratic socialists, even though Grant Plattner was not associated with the DSA, but progressives or socialists getting in when now no longer they can't just run bullshit campaigns and then they're going to walk into office. They're going to actually have to defend ideas, defend and go back and forth and actually show themselves being worthy of being voted in. They don't want money to put out. They don't want money to take out of politics. If money gets taken out of politics, they have to run grassroots campaigns. They got to deal with the actual people. Like what? No. Wait. You telling me I can't take this money from Oracle? I got to actually go in my community to people who I say I want to represent and listen to them and actually take their values to Congress? What? So the message is what they're attacking.
Yeah.
And they want you to think because of Grant Plattner and his misgivings and his misconduct, clearly misconduct, if it's a rape allegation or not, if that's not the truth, it's clearly sexual misconduct.
Yeah.
And they want to make that thing, conflate that with the message of, that's why, how can you care about them talking about Medicare for all? Look at their sexual conduct.
They support rapists.
Come on.
Yeah.
See, that's what we're getting. For the Republican side, just awful being objectively bad.
Yeah.
And then we're dealing with our own establishment trying to knock down a progressive message by saying because Graham Platinum, his sexual misconduct proves that those people can't be trusted.
You know what's worse? They call themselves themselves the establishment. They answer to that title.
Yeah,
They don't push. They don't push back
that
and
alone.
say, "No, I'm not the establishment."
No, they accept it.
They accept it. They wear it proudly.
All progressives, the outsiders.
Yeah, they wear it proudly. Yeah, we're the establishment.
But we're the party with the 80, but our ideas, Punch, like you said earlier, are the 80-20 ideas. How can our policies be 80-20, but we're the outsiders?
Yeah.
Somebody help me with that.
They say they represent the people say what they want, and they're just like, nah,
And
that's radical. That's fringe, bro.
That push that are the outsiders.
Yeah.
And see, that's the big thing too. And they keep attacking the Democrat socialist candidates and the progressive candidates and not realizing, even mainstream media, but they were voted in. They were voted to be the candidate. They were voted to be the nominee. They won the primary. The voters voted for them. They didn't appoint themselves as the winner. They were voted in to be the winner. And for some kind of reason, mainstream media gets away with the fact, allowing these talking heads to go in here and bash the candidates and not realize the voters voted for them in the first place.
Mm-hmm.
What? The voters put them in. But you see what we're dealing with on all sides. Republicans just objectively bad.
Objectively. We live in a Republican-led society now.
Right now, they have
the world looks like what the Republicans wanted it to look like. Inflation's higher, unemployment's higher, jobs aren't being created, prices are higher. I won't blame affording homes just on the Republicans, but since they're also in office and not fixing it, when they have a bill to help out, maybe it won't fix the issue entirely. The Republicans aren't supporting it. Not that they're not supporting it, but the Republican president won't sign it in to law.
Guess what? The bill it became law last night, 2 nights ago when it went.
Okay.
Because even though he didn't sign it, because he didn't veto it, and if you don't veto it and it gets delivered to the president, in 10 days it becomes law. But they can't celebrate it because remember he threw them off guard because they had a celebration signing ceremony they're going to have at the White House in the Capitol building. They had everything set up. The Democrats are going to be there and Republicans because this passed it was like 348 to 22 in the House and then 85-5 in the Senate. 95-5. Was it 100 Senate 9? Yeah, 95-5 in the Senate. Something crazy like that. Crazy bipartisan numbers. And Donald Trump refused to sign it, which is so crazy, saying the Save America Act was more important when during an election year the Democrats were getting ready to give him something that he could actually use for a win in an election year. He's like, no. It shows you he does not care about the Republican Party. He is trying to protect himself. The Save America Act will help him. He believes if we can keep them out of power, it can keep me out of jail. But he does not want, because if Democrats take back the House or the Senate, definitely if they take back both, the investigations
let them roll.
They're going to roll.
Let them roll.
We talked about the other week.
They think that's going to be enough instead of passing bills, but it still won't be.
Like you said, hopefully at that time, but there needs to be some chew gum and walk. That's why the Democrat socialists, them going there.
Which is why they're important.
That's why they're important.
I think that people should be alarmed that even if you're not a socialist or if you're not a left-leaning progressive, that two things: the establishment wears the establishment name as a badge of honor, and that the left-leaning candidates or wing of the party are met with the same hostility that the Republicans meet us with, right? These people are in our party, allegedly. It's supposed to be a big tent. And they meet us with the same hostility that the enemy meets us with, that the opposition party meets us with. That should alarm you. Even if you don't believe in our ideals, why is it that we're in the party, right? So that means some of the things that we want, we should also get,
Yeah. And why we
right?
met with so much hostility and vitriol?
And it's not even that like it's just regular hostility. It's the same version that the Republicans meet us with.
Vitriol. It's like nasty.
I don't know when a Republican or a Democrat is saying when they
Not
call us the dirtbag left.
That's a Democratic senator saying that.
If you just took it off and you asked who said it, I'd be like, oh yeah, that was a Republican.
That was Andy.
That was a sitting senator.
Yes.
A sitting Democratic senator. The former head of the DNC says, don't use our infrastructure. You're not Democrats.
On Jake Gottenheimer, Jeff, is it Jake or Jeff? I know Gottenheimer is for last name.
Yeah, I don't know his name.
Running, Democrat consultants, all running on Fox News, saying they're not. Remember, they're not Democrats. Yes, they are.
They're signing petitions or whatever they're called, fighting against a wing of their party. We ain't seen them do that for the Republicans.
They're saying Democrats that ran the Democratic primary, who won under the Democrat Party, are not Democrats.
Yeah, the Democratic people, the Democratic constituents, the people that say they are Democrats, voted for them, and you're telling all those people that's not a Democrat.
Yeah, again, that's a good point, bro. Because I guarantee you go look in the rolls. A lot of the people are probably registered Democrats that voted, who voted for the Democrat Socialists, who are now being told you didn't vote for a Democrat.
And they're just going to excuse, well, that's because a lot of people didn't turn out to vote.
That's what they
right.
Under 5%.
Then why couldn't you get more people to vote for you? If it was such a little bit of people that came out to vote, why couldn't you even energize more people to vote for you?
How the kids say that part.
Yeah.
That's how they say it. Like, that
right.
part.
Right. Like the worst part is that they're meeting. I can't tell if I'm talking to a Republican or a Democrat when they go, you get these Democratic socialists. That's not that used to be an indication, right, that you was a Republican when you be like the Democrats rah rah rah. Now when it happens, I'm like, okay, are you Democrat or Republican? They go, I'm a Democrat. Then why is it that the people that voted for you are Democrats? They're registered Democrats.
Plenty of them are, and not Democrat. At the same time, they're not Democrats.
And we're not Democrats no more. We're the dirtbag left. Because you know what? I want you to get rid of the contracts and hire people in the city to fill the potholes and get rid of the snow. I want you to guarantee childcare for 2-year-olds. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
Because you give $30 an hour, you say, hey, we got a snowstorm. How about we stop doing these no bid contracts and giving money to these contractors?
Yeah.
They do a half-ass job, don't ever get none of the snow plowed. How about we give it back to the people, pay them $30 an hour, and for them to do it? And then they have the nerve to say, and they're asking them for their tax information. Well, yeah, it's a job. They gotta get 2 forms of ID and tax information.
Yeah. You're the dirtbag for them getting rid of junk fees. Right? Yeah. The price you see the price you see at the total is the price you're supposed to pay.
You're a dirtbag because now you can do an actual click to cancel as easy as it is to click to subscribe or click to buy. Oh, you're the dirtbag.
You're a complete dirtbag.
We're supposed to be a big tent punch.
Yeah. And like they don't even want us in the tent. They want the mythical suburban white mom, the mythical right-leaning swing voter that's gonna vote for a pro-life Democrat
and say the issues that we espouse as leftists that are usually mostly 80-20 issues, overwhelming issues.
Yeah.
Those issues are put us in the extreme as the outsiders, and the people are in the 20% are the moderates. And the mainstream media pushes that exact narrative where 80-20 issue is actually discussed as if it's really controversial when it's not. It's
Yeah, well,
not.
less weapons for missiles that support genocidal and apartheid regimes in other countries. Build a couple more hospitals. They're like, they're like you fucking dirtbag.
You're a dirtbag. You're a hospital.
Sorry, Auntie.
We got,
You disgust me because you want less missiles that kill less people.
you
I'm
kidding me?
not even just gonna be like kids and women. Just kill less people. You're you disgust me. And
How,
you know what? That you're not a Democrat. You're a dirtbag.
how dare you not want no new wars?
Right?
You think your tax dollars should
Can't,
go to you?
who do you think you are
How dare you?
wanting peace in the world? Who do you think you are that you want more hospitals and
Who do
free
you think
college?
to live in the richest country in the world, and you think you should get something from it, from your taxes?
Yeah.
Who the hell do you think you are?
What? We should tax people with all the money? More money? Ugh, you fucking dirtbag. That's what they're doing to us.
That's what this
That's
legitimately.
that's what
Our issues that we want are bad for the country when they're 80-20 issues.
people dying in ICE detention, right? People dying in ICE detention. Like at
I
an
killed
alarming
another
rate.
dude in the street. Killed
Yeah,
another person in the street this past week.
right? And
35 years lived in the country. Never never a record at all of jail record of arrest. I can't remember his name right now. I apologize for that to his family. But it was in the news this week. But you saw they're out here now killing people. Another death in the street. And even what that wasn't the person they were going after anyways. I think you got it for us.
hold on, I'm pulling it up. Lorenzo Salgado Araujo.
I think you got it right.
Yeah, he was killed July 7th, 2026.
Yes.
Yeah.
By ICE. And the lies that he rammed against their car, and witnesses saying that didn't happen.
Hunting them down. They hunting these people down. And we go, you know what? Maybe that we should get rid of the department with so many infractions.
Yeah,
Right? Yeah, we abolish ICE. And they go, that's the stupidest shit I've ever heard. You fucking dirtbag. That's what we're being told, bro. Like we didn't do immigration before ICE.
Yeah,
I know that wasn't the problem.
I mean, they called Obama the deporter in chief.
Yeah.
He was deporting people left and right, but
He deported 3 million people.
American citizens weren't being killed in the street in the process.
And they weren't snatching these people from court after their appointments. While trying to go through the process.
Exactly.
These are documented migrants. Maybe not citizens, but they're documented migrants.
It wasn't picking them up coming out of being being in compliance.
Yeah.
What's going on with
weren't busted in their homes without warrants? Most of these people, when they get into the prison system, they're being deported from there. And we go, you know what? We don't think the department with all those infractions shouldn't exist any longer because we need to find a better way to handle immigration. And they go, if I could smack you, I'd smack you. You disgust me. You're a dirtbag for thinking that these immigrants are human beings too. And I think that should alarm people. That should alarm just the regular, even if you're middle of the road. Why is it that you can say that about Abdul Sayed, that he's the same as Graham Platten? He's a doctor. He's doing work for the people. No Nazi tattoos, no rape allegations,
And that,
right?
that CNN host pushed back too on that. Like, he ain't got, what are you talking about?
Yeah, and you're saying just because he's a democratic socialist, you might as well say he's the same person. And a lot of people said, man, look, the dude Graham Plotner, he got a lot of flaws, bro. Y'all need to be careful about that. I said it. It felt Fetterman like to me.
Black
I
folks,
no longer trust that white guy archetype. The
black people,
real common guy with he wears the regular people clothes and talks in the regular people language, but we know there's obvious flaws against him. We've seen hatred from him.
I mean, one time I compared him to Paul. I mean, at the end of the day, I wasn't living in Maine, but I said, well, look, you got people that got issues. Paul persecuted Christians, and then he became a prophet, according to the Bible. He killed Christians, murdered them. I I was on there, but at the same time, I knew when we looked at it, we said, well, at least what his messaging, his policies, are what we were going for.
The
But we told
concession
you
on
as
what we
black,
wanted.
told you as black, we like, look, man, I don't know this Nazi tattoo. I don't know. Hey, man, this kind of seemed like a Fetterman situation here. I don't know, but we had to push through. But this allegation was too more than enough. Was too much more. I mean, was too much. I guess what's the saying? The camel that broke the
The
straw
straw
that
that broke the camel's back, yeah.
stop my blithering stuttering. I was just doing there a second. This is Michael Fanone. If you remember Michael Fanone, he was one of the officers on January 6th that was badly beaten by those insurrectionists
Mm.
that attacked the Capitol. Lindsey Graham is dead. I will always remember my first and only encounter with him when he looked the grieving mother of a dead police officer in the face and barked that he wasn't going to listen to her blame Trump for January 6th. When I showed him my body cam footage from that day, he turned away and looked at his phone. Rest in piss, you fucking worthless scumbag. If there is a hell, I hope you're in it.
That's what Michael Fanone said to who?
Lindsey Graham.
Did that just come out?
He did it on the Substack.
Say it, read it again, read it again, read it again.
All right.
That joint was a little fiery, bro.
Lindsey Graham is dead. I will always remember my first and only encounter with him when he looked the grieving mother of a dead police officer in the face and barked that he wasn't going to listen to her blame Trump for January 6th. When I showed him my body cam footage from that day, he turned away and looked at his phone. Rest in peace, you fucking worthless scumbag. If there's a hell, I hope you're in it.
Man, freedom of speech.
What you do in power matters.
Yeah.
What you do in positions of power matter.
Yep.
And a lot of people got that same sentiment. I think that's why we said it twice.
I mean, true words haven't been spoken. The man wasn't a good man.
All right. We're done. Appreciate you guys listening. The constant support. Look forward to our Correctly Mistaken Instagram page or more clips and get ready to come out here. As we strive to put ourselves in the arena, we decided as Correctly Mistaken, we're going to be in the arena. And we know what that means. We ready for it. We in it. I guess you want to say that in it to win it, but it's like it's in it. It's in it to win it, but it's in it for humanity, man. We're trying to move humanity forward and get on the right track, man. Until next time, y'all know what we try to do here at Correctly Mistaken, man. Trying to get people back to critical thinking and caring for the other. getting people in positions of power who are actually going to espouse those values. So when people do meet their end, there could be a lot more love than the vitriol that we're seeing now and the eulogy that Lindsey Graham has earned.
Yeah.
As for my man Punch, I'm your boy Osei. Correctly Mistaken Podcast. Y'all be blessed. Peace.